My wife and I have acquired a little bitty farm. We call it Peace and Quiet. And on that farm, we just like to, when we leave giant cities like Beijing, is to just go relax on that farm. And one of the things I like to do is fish. So I made my own pond. And it's a couple of acres worth. And in that pond a few years ago, because I like to fish, from the local hatchery, I bought the trophy bass package of hatchlings, little bitty baby fish of 4 to 5 different species, put them in my pond so that they would grow up to be trophy bass that I could catch and be very proud of. So that was a few years ago, and as they grew, it turns out that this is the year the trophy bass should be trophy bass. So the other day, I was ready to find out if there were trophy bass in my pond. So I went to my pond and I started working the circumference of the pond with my fishing rod. And the way you fish, one of the reasons I like to fish is you've got to really focus on the fishing. So I forget all the problems of the day and all the challenges, and I just go fish. And the way I fish is rather active. I like to throw in a lure and crank it back in, and throw in a lure and crank it back in. And I was fishing my pond where I tried every different lure, a half a dozen at a time, walk 20 feet, try another one, 10, 20, 30 casts, try different depths of the water, deep water, middle water, top water. I did that for like 2 hours. I got no trophy bass. But I kept trying. So then I put on this lure that's called a buzz bait. It's got a propeller on the front of it. You throw it way out across the pond. My pond would be like from here to the top of the auditorium. I throw it out and I crank it in, and it comes on the surface of the water and makes a buzzing sound because the propeller's spinning, and for some reason it's supposed to attract trophy bass. And I try it once and twice, and the third time I'm cranking it in, and it gets about 2 meters from the shore. The sun is setting, the day is almost over, it's about my last chance, and 2 meters from the shore, the water explodes. This giant bass hits the buzz bait, takes off running, and we're off for a fight. And I bring it in, and I land it, and I put him back in the water. And I do it again and again. And I catch 3 trophy bass. And then the sun sets, and day is over. So why that story? It took hundreds of casts that didn't work because the water depth was wrong, the lure was wrong, whatever was wrong, until I got the right one on and then it hit. That's what it takes in life. That's what it takes in your projects. That's what it will take in your businesses as you go forward. It is that optimism of the fisherman, the angler, that hope that there is a fish out there that will finally hit this thing. Do not let the fear of failure get in the way of true success. Because if you just stop at the first time you fail, or the second time, or even the third time that you fail, you will dramatically limit the success that you will have in your life. So continue to innovate, continue to experiment. Do not assume that just because we've achieved a certain level of success, that that's all we can achieve. Push yourselves to do even more.